All right, let's get it, baby. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Let's go. Make sure you join the newsletter. You know what I mean? Give me a replay, gang, if you're watching the replay. And even if you on the replay, what I want you to do is share with us what kind of business you have. Let them know how you help the world. Let them know what city you from. We try and know where we got some people in town. So we know who we could go to lunch with, you know, go to dinner with when we in a new market. You know what I'm saying? Where we could come over and get a home cooked meal. We want to know where our family members is at. So make sure you shout out where you at. Make sure you shout out where you at. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, that's a big deal. On Instagram, I'm No Money Down King. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get it. Please share the broadcast. Let them know we in the house. You know, I always say the universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. You know what I mean? So if you want to get some good karma going, if you want to schedule yourself some harvest, let me tell you what you do. You give to somebody, you sow a seed. You know, fruitfulness always comes from seedfulness. Think about it. Fruitfulness always and only comes from seedfulness. Ain't that cold? Think about that. Yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. You know, fruitfulness is always a child of seedfulness. You feel me? Mr. 800's in the house, my man P.O. And where's your seed? Where's your seed? Your seed is in your mind. Your seed is in your heart. Your seed is in your bank account. I want to shout out everybody that joined the Kaizen Academy recently. What's up, Nicole? TC up in here. Atia, what's up, Queen? Um, you gotta start thinking like you're blessed. You gotta start talking like you're blessed. You gotta start acting like you're blessed. That's how you activate your blessing. You know what I mean? Yeah, the seed reveals the quality of the soil. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. All right, let's get this party going. Because what we got here, baby, is some soil. Let's go.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you.
Please enter
That's right. We're going to bring the millionaire out of you.
Please announce yourself.
All right, here we go.
All participants are muted.
Tanisha, like,
Entry and exit tones are off.
if anybody wants to sow a seed, it's my sis' birthday. That's Tanisha's Cash App right there. Like, let's get it going, baby. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. You better be glad I ain't DJing this morning. Y'all holler at my homegirl Tanisha. Y'all holler at my homegirl Tanisha Wilkes. It's her birthday. You gotta love that. Somebody send her a blessing. You know what I mean? Like it's your birthday. Celebrate her like you want somebody to celebrate you. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to Tanisha Wilkes. You gotta love it. All right, y'all. So yesterday we talked about how to finish real strong. We gave them a quote from Usain Bolt where he was like, "There's better starters than me, but I'm an excellent finisher." You know what I mean? And we gave you a bunch of really cool ways to step up your finish 'em game. You know what I mean? Yeah, we want you to step up your finishing game. Yeah. Happy birthday, Tanisha. We love you too, Queen. Yeah, happy birthday, Tanisha. Let's get it. Let's get it. Mimi in the house. What's up? What's up, Jamie? All right. But today, what I said I wanted to start talking about, kind of like, because one of y'all, who talked to me about this? Somebody was like, yeah, but how do I get started? You know what I mean? And I always appreciate what we get in the email. I always appreciate the responses that we get from the trainings. So, you know, your wish was our command. Today, we're going to talk about how to start something great. A lot of times when we do the affirmations, you hear me talk about how while most people go from the physical thing to the thought to the idea, like they'll look at the physical thing, like the physical reality of their bank account, and they'll say something like, man, it'll go to the thought, I'm broke. And then it'll go to the idea of poverty. Like, is this ever gonna change for me? Is this just the way life is? Boy, I better start adjusting because life is gonna be really rough. Everybody's against me. My boss don't like me, my kids don't like me, my friends don't like me. You know what I mean? It starts to become this idea. Now you become this idea of lack, this idea of scarcity, when truly ideas are the greatest potential. That you're always living in 3 dimensions, right? You're always living in this whole physical reality. You're always living in this sort of intellectual reality, and then you're living in spirit, right? So when we say how to start something great, first thing I want you to understand is we got to start from spirit. We got to start from the idea. Let that idea give us thoughts, and then next thing you know, the physical reality is going to show up. Ain't that right, Vita Lachey? You better let them know. Ain't that right, Miss Diane? You better let them know. Yeah, my man Corey checking in. That's right. That's right. Brother Almond Bay is in the house. You feel me? Jess just made it in. So what I'm saying is something great is always going to start with an idea, right? My man James had a real big idea for the community. So what was his first step? Asking a few people out to lunch. I want you to think about that just so they could talk about it. My man Jeff, he wanted to start up a business, right? So what did he do? He started setting up coffees every day and lunches every day with different people who he felt like could help him learn. You know, what about Miss Cynthia? She had an idea for changing the culture. These are all real life Kaiserites. You know what I mean? Yeah, DJ Jamad in the house, right? You know, she wanted to change something that was going on with her business. Well, her first step was changing the culture of the call center that she manages. She decided to change the culture by making sure that she set aside time every day to just chop it up with people and listen to them. We're doing something similar in our own office. You know, a bunch of my employees were like, man, every time you come in, you know, you on the phone, you never really holler at us. So at our corporate retreat, I made a vow to myself that I was going to change some things about the culture. Well, what about you? What's your first step, y'all? What's your first step? Maybe your first step is going to be bringing new information to the team meetings, making sure that you make a commitment to always bring something new, different, and interesting. These are all first steps. None of them are daunting, right? And why? Because the first step ain't the end game. It's just a way to get started. It's just a way to get moving, right? And so what I wanted to talk about this morning is how that first step is a doozy. That first step is the one that can determine the momentum. It can determine the direction. Somebody give me this in the comments. Direction is far more important than speed. Direction is far more important than speed. We're living in a society where everybody's obsessed with speed and instant gratification. What if I told you that the greatest ideas, the greatest sort of like long-lasting testaments to your passion and your potential do not happen all that quickly? Maybe you've heard Rome wasn't built in a day. Around here, what we say is the pyramids weren't built in a day. I've had a lot of conversations with people, y'all, about a lot of big ideas, right? What I always say is you got to take those first steps serious. Like, let's explore, right? Let's learn. Getting started is always the hardest part. Any musician will tell you that the hardest part of practice is getting that instrument up out the case. You know what I mean? Getting that instrument out the case. So I got some real simple ideas this morning. We only got about 8 minutes left where maybe this will help you create the right first step for you. All right. I'm going to give them to you rapid fire. I want you to jot these down. Yeah, Mimi. Direction is way more important than speed. You hear me, Mark? You hear me, Vita? Jamie, direction is way more important than speed. Somebody give me that and then give me a share. If you already typed it out, give me a share. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, here's the first one. Real simple ideas, y'all. Ain't nothing I'm about to give you rocket science, but I just want to add to your power book, okay? I want you to pick out one you're going to use. Here's the first one. Let's say you got this idea that by the end of the summer, you're going to have a whole nother income level. Well, maybe what you do is you schedule 3 meetings with smart people. That's a good way to get started, right? Talk to those who have knowledge about what you want to do and ask questions and then listen and then bring a notepad so you can write down notes. Huh? Good discussions can help you create your big idea. It can help you refine your big idea. Thank you so much for the shares, y'all. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, Mark. You know what I'm saying? You heard me, Sister Tia. Let's go, Trina. Let's go. Let's go, Michael. Allison is in the house. Let's go. Here's the second one I got for you. Read a couple books that push your thinking. Man, you know, I got books everywhere around me. I don't know about y'all, but man, I love a good book. But what you got to start doing is talking to your books. You got to take a little device like this. They call this an ink pen. And I want you to start taking notes inside the book. I want you to start taking sheets of paper, sliding it in on the pages that mean the most to you. And then I want you to have a journal, okay, where you're writing down what the book said to you. I want you to not just view the book as the Bible on your topic either. I want you to use it as reference material. I want you to use it as a way to spark an idea. I want you to use that book to give you the idea for another resource, another podcast you can listen to while you're on the treadmill the next day. This isn't to say keep putting off working while you keep on getting ready to get ready. I got to throw that in for some of y'all, because some of y'all will overthink and still be like, oh, I need to read one more book. That ain't what we're saying. What we're saying is that, you know, all the greatest ideas in the world, right? Some of the greatest people in the world have encapsulated the wisdom that they gathered after years and years of mistakes and just put them in books. And just by reading some marks on a page, you all of a sudden have all the information of the universe available to you. You got to love it. You hear me? You got to love it. So I want to suggest you read a couple books that push your thinking, right? Here's the third one I got for you. Invite knowledgeable experts over for a discussion. That's a heck of a way to get started, ain't it? Invite some people who have real knowledge over for a discussion. If you can't do that, then maybe what you do is you get your butt to a workshop. You get your butt to a seminar. But what I'm saying is when you get there, offer to take somebody to lunch. Not just the people that are on the panel, but the people that are on the front row. Not just the people that are, you know, standing up on stage giving a keynote, but also the people to the left and the right of you, the people behind you, the people that are in front of you that you see taking notes. Maybe you start a question with them. Maybe instead of just hanging out with the people that you came with, maybe you offer to take somebody else to lunch. Maybe you budget that in your budget. They're like, hey, man, let me take you to lunch. You got to eat. You know what I mean? Chances are you're going to run into somebody else from your company, from your industry, from your vertical, right? That you've been needing to chop it up with. And you just chop it up like, hey, what are some of your best marketing techniques? How did you find your best client ever? Where do you get your best testimonies? Where do you go to meet people who are interested in what you do, right? Now you're having a discussion. Maybe you jot down 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 questions that you would ask the most knowledgeable, most successful people in your world so that you can draw this years of knowledge out of them in mere seconds. Here's number 4 I got for you. Start an ideas notebook and then give me a share. Somebody say, start an ideas notebook and give me a share. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Jamie. Appreciate that, Trina. Start an ideas notebook. Somebody write, start an ideas notebook and then give me a share. Share that with an entrepreneur. Share that on your own time page. Like, give yourself a shot at holding yourself to this commitment. Start an ideas notebook. Begin to research. Begin to collect ideas. Interesting examples for your new business. Hopefully, maybe it's in the back section of the same book you use to jot down your notes from Good Morning Millionaire, right? Do you have a product? Do you have a nonprofit? Maybe you're writing down your thoughts and starting to create a file for inspiration that can give your ideas a way to emerge, a way to grow. You know, I have so many notes in my phone, y'all, it don't make no sense. Like, check this out. These are like my notes in my phone. But you see how like I have pictures in the notes as well? Because sometimes I might find a news article that I like. These are just my notes in my phone. I reached the bottom of the joint. It says I got 2,584 notes. You know what I'm saying? What about you? What are you doing to make it so that you have a collection of all your best stuff? Anybody ever tried that? Here's another one I got for you. Yeah, Mimi. Yeah, Nakia. Let them know. Starting Ideas Notebook, Cindy. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the game. I'm giving you the game. Man, you know what I'm saying, Mimi? You feel me? Yeah, you got to keep notes in your notepad. Here's number 5. I suggest you binge watch YouTube. Sometimes we binge watch Hulu or we binge watch Netflix. I'm saying binge watch YouTube. Between the TED Talks, of which I am now an esteemed contributor. Besides the TED Talks and the thousands of other speeches that you can listen to on almost any speaker on any given topic, I don't care if you want to cook the perfect lasagna or you want to create, a revolution. You can find information on it on YouTube. YouTube University. Create your own personal viewing station. Take notes. Write down important points that can help you develop your plans. Get a feel for different resources you're going to invite to your next knowledge explanation. You hear me? Maybe by watching these YouTube channels, you start to get a feel for different people whose conferences you need to go to. Maybe you start discovering people you need to follow on Instagram. Maybe you start discovering pages that you need to get involved with on Facebook, groups that you need to join. Create your own personal program. We always talk about how we're conditioning our brains and our brain is a computer. We'll create a computer program. Do you hear me? How can I take these key points that I discovered and transform them into action? I was looking for another word, right? I wanted something a little more mystical, right? Like how can you perform the alchemy on these bits of information to turn them into something tangible? Here's number 6 I got for you. There'll also be help at the point that you, the YouTube gang in the house. You know what I'm saying? Here's number 6. Now that you've done some YouTubing, okay, Mimi must have sent some money for the birthday. That's what I'm talking about, Mimi. That's Mimi, the motivator, Tanisha. You better get to know her. So during your YouTube journeys, what else you're going to discover, and this is number 6, you're going to discover people you can shadow. Set up a shadow day. Set up a shadow day, right? Set up a shadow day. If you're interested in starting a business, or you're interested in starting a nonprofit, or you're interested in expanding a business or a nonprofit, if you're interested in making sure your business ain't a nonprofit, don't let that go over your head, right? That's why you come to people like me that are in revenue acceleration. Check this out. Find somebody who's done it and ask them if you can join them for a day to better understand what their day is like. We call that shadowing. What if you could shadow them? Here's number 7, y'all. Create the vision for the impact you want to have. Create the vision for the impact you want to have. Okay, Tanisha, they asking for your Cash App birthday, girl. They asking for your Cash App, girl. It's Tanisha's birthday, y'all. Y'all know Tanisha been with us for years. That's the homie. Let's take care of her for her birthday, y'all. She about to post her Cash App. We're going to get it on for her birthday. Everybody make sure y'all take care of my homie. All right. So, the reason that I'm mentioning vision is because you see, sight is something that you deal with your eyes, but vision is for your heart, right? You really see with your heart. You really hear with your heart. Like right there in the middle of heart, you see hear, right? You see ear right in the middle of heart. Isn't that interesting? So a vision is kind of like a what combined with a why. What is your vision? What will be happening when this change comes in and transforms everything? What will the impact be when this change comes in and changes everything? Don't worry if you don't know the goals yet. Don't worry if you ain't quite sure on the specifics. You shouldn't know all the specifics yet. It's way too early. You should know your why, though. You should know why you're doing all of that. Hey, I am honored, Brother David. You know, this thing wouldn't be nothing without David Ruffin. That's right. Sight is from your eyes. Vision is from your heart. All right, there go Tanisha's Cash App. If anybody wants to, you know what I mean, sow a seed. If you want to schedule a harvest. Here's number 8. Find one small experiment. One small experiment, y'all. Find a little tiny way you can dabble in your big idea. Like you got a new product idea. Let's do a little prototype and see if it works. Let's create a few examples and see if our idea plays. You want to write a book? Maybe you start a blog, right? Maybe the blog just breaks down some of the ideas you have, right? A good experiment for writing, right? Hey, Mark, you crazy dog. You crazy. Mark, like you change your Cash App from Mark 616. Find one small experiment. A good experiment answers questions, y'all. So identify the questions you're trying to answer with your experiment up front. And then let your experiment guide your longer term decisions. Does that make sense? All right, here's number 9. Here's number 9, y'all. Here's number 9. You ready? And this is Tanisha's Cash App right there. You know what I mean? Like schedule yourself a harvest, baby. Sow some seed. Bless Tanisha for her birthday. Like it's your birthday and you're going to want to get blessed. You got a birthday coming, girl. You got a birthday coming, homeboy. You better act like you know. All right, here's number 9. Had to count them joints out. 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shows you ain't got to be all that smart to get rich. I almost put up the wrong amount. All right, 9. You ready? All right, here we go. Write down your must-haves, including your financials. Including your financials. Write down your must-haves. Write down your must-haves, y'all. Y'all see that? Because y'all bless Crystal, she like, of course I'm going to bless Tanisha. You know what I'm saying? You got to love it. You got to love it. What are your must-haves, y'all? What are your must-haves? I dare you kind of think of that. What are your must-haves, including your financials? To me, a lot of creatives miss this step. This is probably the most overlooked step, y'all. And the reason I want you to write down your must-haves is because these start to create boundaries, right? Your must-haves start to create the walls that you got to bounce off. Questions like, can you invest in the business, right? Do you have money to invest right now? Well, that creates a boundary if you have no money. But it's good news. Somebody write this in the comments. All creativity comes from constraints, right? All freedom comes from discipline. And all creativity comes from constraints. You don't get creative until you have to. That's the way the world works. But to realize you have to be aware of your constraints. What are your minimum earnings required to allow you to leave your business? You just now, right? You must have this much coming in before you can leave your job to just work on your business, right? This is a must-have you just wrote down, right? Make sure you know your minimum requirements for your idea. Am I making sense? There go Tanisha's Cash App for everybody that's asking. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Good, Tanisha. We glad you're here, Queen. This is how you start off a birthday. You know what I'm talking about? By saying good morning, millionaire to yourself. That's right. Freedom comes from discipline. It's a fact. And all creativity comes from constraints. Constraints, y'all. All creativity comes from constraints. When you're constrained, that's when you get creative. Necessity is the mother of invention. And here's number 10 I got for you. Create what's called an options matrix, y'all. Like on the left column, you write out all your must-haves. Across the top row, you write all the viable options that you have. You hear me? Right? You developed all these options you have for ways to get started. I just gave you a bunch of them. Write them things along the top of the page. And then what you do is you rate each option against your must-haves, right? You rate each option against your must-haves. So that's why you wrote out all the must-haves. Then at the top, you're writing out all the options that we came up with for how you're going to get started. And this ain't going to give you the answer. This ain't going to give you one answer. But what it will do is start helping you form your priorities. It'll help you start comparing one option against another and then ruling out choices, Xing out stuff that just don't get you where you want to go. Pick the one that's the best place to start, and then let's get started. Because you can't just stare up the steps. You got to eventually step up the stairs. You get what I mean? And when you're starting a wave, baby, you're starting something that's never been done quite in this way. If you follow the millionaire-minded way of doing things, the offer that you're making to the public, the idea that you have for the public is not something that is an improvement offer. It's a whole new opportunity. It's a whole new world. You're not trying to make it stronger or faster or bigger. You're saying, all that don't work. This is the way we need to do it. Well, millionaires, that means you're a pioneer, baby. And pioneers catch the arrows, right? It hasn't been done before quite this way. You're going to be a legend. You hear me? So what a legend has to do is expect surprises. A legend has to understand they ain't going to have all the answers up front. A legend is here to learn from their losses. You hear what I'm saying to you? Just get started, baby. Because somebody write this in the comments, like my mentor, Mr. Les Brown, always says, you ain't got to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. I hope this was helpful for you. It's affirmation time. Let me see it in the comments if we left one out. Right? Motion creates motion, y'all. Momentum creates momentum. Never forget it. Motion creates motion, y'all. Momentum creates momentum. Let's get going. Make sure you join the text message system. If y'all didn't do that already, text message at MillMind to 81010. Or put your number in the box when you go to millionaireminded.com. It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. Let's get it. That's a fact, Atia. That's a fact, Trina. You ain't got to be great to start. But you got to start to be great. That's a fact. You hear me, Chanel? You hear me, Jamie? Let's get it. Let's get it. A legend learns from them losses. You hear me? All right, it's affirmation time. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. I am so happy and grateful that money